Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Friday night, I'm just chilling. It's been a long day, I'm exhausted. I've had a good week, productive week. This first week of the year has been pretty amazing, I must say. We'll see what next week brings, but I feel pretty good about it. Company's doing well, the coaching is going really well, and if you guys want to get on my schedule for coaching and mentoring, I encourage you to do that sooner rather than later. If you're waiting, don't wait too long. I am booking up. There's only so much I'm going to be able to handle. I do have another job that's full-time. So go to my website, skyazrael.com. I always put the link below, or you can go find me on social media, Facebook. That's what a lot of people do. They just contact me on Facebook and say what's up, leave me a friend's request, or Instagram. I only check my Instagram once every few days, but I do check it. My mom was in town with her husband. They're staying a little bit north of me at a resort. I went up there today, yesterday and today, to go hang out with them. And it's been good. They'll be around for the weekend and, you know, whatever. My stepfather, my mother and him have been married for many years, and he's Italian. He was born in Italy. He speaks Italian. And he's very much a classy guy. He dresses in like really nice clothes. His socks, everything he wears is super nice. And he's really into fashion, and that's kind of part of Italian culture. So it's not just a personal hobby. This is like a cultural thing for him. He's also into food. He talks very loud. He's very, very Italian. And we were talking about image and clothes because he was very impressed with my image change. They came down here a year ago and saw us, and my brother always dresses nice. I've dressed like a bum. I've dressed like a gang member. That's what my brother told me, because I was trying to figure out, well, what style have I had? And he's like, what do you mean? You Southside, gang member, skinhead, take your pick. And that's pretty much the way I dressed last year when they came to see me. But this year, I dressed nicer, so my stepfather was impressed. We were talking about it. And he was talking about this idea of a gentleman. And it may be more prevalent in Europe because at least there used to be this kind of status tied to your last name, tied to the family that you were a part of. And there were these families that were not just wealthy, but well-to-do, high-status families. And if you were from one of those, you were of the gentleman class. And being a gentleman was a class thing. Like peasant is at the bottom, gentleman towards the top, that kind of thing. Now, we don't really look at gentleman, the word gentleman, today, at least in America, anything like that. It's more being an honorable, polite, well put together guy. You think of like James Bond or something, that's what I think of. A guy in a suit, you know, high class dude, wealthy guy, put together well. And my stepfather was talking about his father and how his father had so many rules of being a gentleman. And this was pushed on him as a kid, and he grew up with this. And he has pictures of him and when he's 12, 13 years old, wearing like a full suit, because that's how he dressed. And that was in the 60s. Everybody else was trying to be hippies and beatniks and shit. So let's go over just a little handful of some of these gentleman rules. And some of this really may apply to an older Italian culture that not only has evolved and doesn't really exist anymore, but we're Americans here on this channel for the most part. I think I have a couple foreigners. A couple of you foreigners watch this channel. So one of the things that my stepfather mentioned that his father had a rule of was that you never argue in public, you never air grievances in public, you don't cause a scene in public. If there's ever a reason to be confrontational or to, have to handle some business of some kind, you don't do it violently or overly emotionally, you do it calmly and in a business-like way. And I think that that's a good way to be. And just because I have a gangster mentality, I think that that's a safe way to be. And if you do have to handle some business with somebody, do it in private. Do that shit where no cameras, no witnesses, nobody can see you. And in public, you're just total gentleman. Somebody could totally offend you where you're like, all right, mental note, kill that son of a bitch. Nobody in the world has to know that thought exists. You're just, let it bounce off you, and you're just this totally nice guy, polite, courteous, calm, collected guy. Now, there may be times when you have to be assertive, and you have to speak up, and you have to say, hey, that's not acceptable, or whatever. But you can even do that without yelling or without showing this display of anger. And I think that was really the point, was that a gentleman would have a real conscious awareness of how they're acting and how they're coming across, what their image is. And they do that for status, for power, for many reasons. Another rule, an old school gentleman rule, was that you never wear loungewear in public. And we've talked about that on some of the style, because I have some style videos that we've done, image videos. And I think that's a good rule also. You don't wear your sweatpants or your Crocs and socks and wife beater to the store. Don't wear it to the store. Don't wear it anywhere. You could wear it to bring the trash out or to check your mail, but that's it. When you go out into public to meet the world for whatever reason, even if you're just running errands, a gentleman always offers the world the best version of himself, and would typically dress up, dress nice, intentionally being the best dressed person in the room, in any room. One weird rule that he talked about, which I don't know if I agree with, but I guess I can see it, is I guess Europeans don't pick their teeth with toothpicks in public. That's a very private, personal chore that maybe you would do in the bathroom or away from other people's eyes. To do that, after you eat, we're all sitting at the table and, or we're walking out to the car after dinner and we're chatting, and I'm sitting there picking my teeth. I just did that yesterday. I was walking out of a diner, picking my teeth with a toothpick, walking back to my car. That's apparently a big no-no, low-class behavior, totally brings you down, uncouth, gross, whatever you want to call it. Gentlemen, don't do it. That's not the type of shit that James Bond was doing. There's no scene in any of the James Bond movies where he's picking crumbs or bits of whatever out of his mouth. The last one that he talked about, which we both kind of chuckled at, because both me and my stepfather break this rule every single day 1,000,000 times, but his father didn't, was the cursing. His father didn't curse, didn't say shoot, shucks, darn, damn it, fuck, you bitch ass motherfucker. None of that stuff came out of his mouth ever. So I'd have to maybe get hypnotized out of it. I have a hard time not cursing. I curse like a sailor. I curse all the time, and I can't help it. It's like a disease. So these are some gentleman rules for being in public. This stuff, if you followed this stuff, it really would help you to raise your status, raise your image, to get more respect, to have more self-confidence, to probably be a better person. don't knock traditionalism. Traditional masculinity and manhood is something to at least study and be aware of. You don't have to conform to it, but I kind of enjoyed this conversation. So thanks for watching.